A very good morning to my dear students of class 8. So here I am with a new chapter called physical quantities and measurement, and hopefully you are going through the video tutorials and it is helpful for you. I will be providing some PDF files in your WhatsApp group of previous chapters, so you need to note down the questions and answers by looking the chapter, looking the notes, and you need to send me making it PDF file so that I can find out whether you are doing or not. Okay, you need to write in your notebook. So without wasting any time, let's start our next chapter, that is chapter number 2, physical quantities and measurement. You see, in our daily life we always come across the terms mass, density, volume. So in this chapter we will understand how to measure irregular bodies or an irregular objects. So when I say mass, it is a quantity of matter contained in a body, and it is measured by a beam balance. Similarly, when I say weight, weight means it is the force by which it is being attracted towards the earth's surface. So there is a difference between mass and weight. Mass is a scalar quantity, whereas weight is a vector quantity because it depends upon acceleration due to gravity. So when I say weight, it is equals to m into g, where m is mass and g is what? Acceleration due to gravity. So multiplication of mass and acceleration due to gravity is weight, which is a vector quantity. This weight is considered as a vector quantity, and this mass is considered to be a scalar quantity. Okay, because it does not depend upon direction. Mass is universally same everywhere. Its value is constant everywhere. Whether you go to north, whether you go to south, wherever you go, mass remains same. But whereas weight differs. Weight differs due to variation of g, that is acceleration due to gravity. G, the gravity, is zero in space. So we consider the weight in space to be zero because gravity is zero. But whereas mass is not zero, mass remains constant everywhere. So that is why I have said here mass is a scalar quantity where weight is a vector quantity. Similarly, we have the term called density. So in this video we'll come across the terms density, mass, volume, relative density, how to calculate the relative density of any liquid, what is density bottle, and how to measure a density of an irregular object. So all these things we will be understanding in this video. So keep watching and do not skip the video, watch till the end. Okay, so let's start. Density. When I say density, what does it mean? Density simply means it is a ratio of mass by volume. Mass, already I told you, it is a quantity of matter in a body, or quantity an object contained in a matter. Similarly, volume, it is the amount of space occupied by that object. Now you see, let's take one example. Suppose we have two boxes. If I consider two boxes of same size, I have taken here, you can see the diagram, two boxes of same size. Okay, if I name it here A and if I name it here B, two boxes. In A, there are some marbles. Inside the box, there are some marbles which are very close to each other. And in box B, there are less number of marbles. Okay, though both the boxes look same, both the boxes have same volume, but still their density is different. We will find this box is to be much more heavier than this box. Why it is so? Why it is considered as so dense in this box? This box A is considered to be as dense substance and box B is considered to be as less dense substance because of the arrangement of the particles. Here particle is marbles. As the marbles are very tightly packed or very closely packed, we consider it to be as dense object as compared to box B. So density, it depends upon the arrangement of the objects, arrangement of the particles inside that given surface. Here you see, in a small unit of that box, if I consider here a small unit of that box, it contains two marble. In a small unit of a box, in the same unit, same area, it contains only one marble. So in small space, if more objects are there, then we consider it to be as dense. And here in the same unit, we have only one marble, that means we consider it to be as less dense as compared to box A. So you might have heard densely populated and less densely populated areas. Densely populated area means when a unit area, if number of people living there is more as compared to the same area in another place where the number of people is less, so we consider to be as most densely or more densely or less densely. Okay, so this is the meaning of density. Density is defined as mass per unit volume. If in small volume, if the objects are very closely packed, then we say that density is more. Similarly, if the volume is more, if the space is more, then the objects are very far away from each other, then we consider it to be as less density. In the simple words, in a small space, if number of object is more, if they are tightly packed, if they are closely packed, then we consider it to be as more densely or more, the density of that object is more. Similarly, in same area, if the particles are far away from each other, if they are not closely packed, then we consider to be as density to be as less, that means less density. Okay, so density is defined as the ratio of mass per unit volume. Here in the diagram you can see two boxes. Below the diagram it is written here boxes with equal volume but different mass. Both the boxes, they are of same size. As they have same size, their volume is same, the space is same inside the box, but you see the number of marbles in box A, that is left hand side, is more than the number of marbles in box B, which is in right hand side. Okay, so we consider this box to be having a more density. The density of this box is more than the density of this box, that is second box. Okay, so this is the meaning of density. So you see, one question is here: take two similar bags, fill with one with sand and other with cotton. Try to lift both one by one. Which one would feel heavier? Why do you think the bag of the sand feels heavier even though both bags have the same volume? So in our regular life, Already we have experienced this type of instances where two objects have same volume but still one is heavier than the other. Here two bags, one bag contains sand and one bag contains cotton. Both the bags size is same but still when we try to lift that sand bag we find it is much more heavier than that of cotton, because the reason we know, then the sand particles are very close to each other, and in small area there are more number of sand particles, but whereas in cotton they just occupy the volume, but as compared to mass it is lighter than that of sand. So density can be expressed as mass per unit volume, that is mass by volume is considered to be as density. Mass is always or usually expressed in grams or kilograms, and volume is expressed in terms of cubic centimeter, that means centimeter cube, or it can be also measured in meter cube. We know meter into meter into meter. When you calculate volume of any cuboid, length into breadth into height, length is also meter, breadth is also meter, height is also meter. That's why we consider to be as meter cube, right? So density is expressed either in gram per centimeter cube or kg per meter cube. But remember, kg per meter cube is the SI unit for density. So in your textbook, you will find that there is a fact file. You can see a triangle of written here mass, density and volume. So from this triangle you can easily calculate mass, density or volume by using a formula. Like if you have to calculate density, then we will put our finger over density. What is left out here? Mass and volume. So density is equal to mass by volume. Similarly, if you have to find a volume, then you will hide a volume, then your formula becomes mass by density. So volume equals to mass by density. But if you have to find mass, then you will hide mass here, then you will find that mass equals to density into volume. That one, these two terms will get multiplied, right? So density is equal to mass by volume, volume equals to mass by density, and mass equals to density into volume. This is a beam balance. So we use this to measure mass of any body, because mass is a scalar quantity, it does not depend upon direction. Similarly, weight is a vector quantity which depends upon direction, which is measured by spring balance. So the diagram which you see, that is a beam balance which is used to measure mass. These are the few formulas. You can see rectangular block, like a cuboid, like your geometry box. If you want to calculate the volume, the formula is length into breadth into height. Similarly, cube, all the sides are same, so side into side into side, that is side cube. Cylinder, that is pi into radius square into height. So pi is a constant term whose value is 22 by 7 or 3.14. that will be given in the numerical. Okay, these formulas will be used in numericals to calculate volume of any solid, and volume of a sphere is pi by 3 pi r cube, where r is the radius. So we know half of diameter of a circle is radius. So there will be no issues if I ask you to measure the density of any cube. Like if we have any cube, so we can measure its mass by placing it in that beam balance. In that beam balance, we'll place that cube here and we can calculate its mass by keeping a standard stone here. So mass can be calculated by this way. Similarly, we know volume is equals to side into side into side, that is side cube. So we know its mass and we know its volume. So density equals to mass by volume. We can easily calculate the density of this substance. But think, if this substance is of irregular object, suppose it is a stone, I want to calculate the density of a stone. His shape is not fixed. We can calculate its mass by putting in a beam balance. So this is a beam balance. Here we can place here and we can measure it. But how to calculate the volume here? So this can be done by using a Eureka can. So Eureka can is nothing but it is a can having a spout like this, right? It is a can. Spout means here. So when you pour it, you might have seen in a ration shop or where they deal with that, like you see small shop, they use a measuring jar. That measuring jar always have this spout. So what you do, you have to tie this stone with a string. Now when you tie this stone with a string, then slowly you will place this string tied with that stone. Now when you tie it, initially it was filled with liquid. Now when you tie it, you see the density of the liquid volume will increase. So we can find the difference of that volume and we know the mass. So by this way, by this method, we can calculate the density of this stone, which is an irregular object. So in the diagram you can see a Eureka can. This Eureka can is used to find the density of irregular solid. So step by step you just see how we can measure the density of an irregular solid. First of all, first step, you have to fill this can full with water. You have to fill until and unless it comes out, means totally filled with water. Now second thing, you have to tie a stone which you want to find is density. The stone whose density you want to find, that stone you have to tie with one string. So when you filled with that water, that Eureka can is filled with water, that mass is considered to be as M2. Okay, and only beaker, only the Eureka can without water, its mass is M1. Okay, so when water was not there in that Eureka can, what was its mass? That is M1. And when you filled it water, now total mass with water is M2. So what will be the mass of that liquid then? Mass of the liquid is M2 minus M1, because M2 is can plus water and M1 is only can. So M2 minus M1 is mass of the liquid. And we know the volume of that liquid is the volume of that Eureka can. So you see, density equals to mass by volume. And what is the density? So if I want to calculate the volume, then volume equals to mass by density. Simple formula. It will get cross multiplied and it will come here, mass by density. So volume equals to mass. Just now we have seen what is the mass of that liquid here, M2 minus M1. M2 is the Eureka can with water and M1 is the mass of that empty jar, that empty Eureka can. So if you subtract, then you will get mass of the liquid, right? So when it was filled with water and when you have dipped that solid inside it, the water will come out. Okay, that water is being collected in another jar. So when you have immersed that solid tied with stone, that solid tied with a string inside that Eureka can, water came out. Now you measure that one. Okay, after measuring, you will find the mass of the water in the beaker will be m2 minus m1. That much water has come out from the jar. That is volume equals to m2 minus m1. Now that is a leftover mass of water inside the beaker. And we know density is 1. So what is volume? Volume equals to m2 minus m1. So now we know what is volume here. Volume equals to m2 minus m1. So volume is m2 minus m1 and density of a solid will be mass, which was m, that mass of that stone, and volume of that stone is m2 minus m1. Okay, so this m2 minus m1 is the volume of that stone. So to calculate the volume, we have used an Eureka can, we have measured its mass, that was m1, then we filled with water and we have placed the stone inside that can. When we place the stone inside the can, water came out, then again we have measured it, that is m2 minus m1, and that mass by m2 minus m1 is the density of the stone. So we have found the density of an irregular solid using an Eureka can. Okay, the stone was having no fixed shape, that was irregular solid. So why we have used the Eureka can only? So by using the Eureka can, we have calculated the volume of that solid, because mass was easily calculated by that spring balance, that beam balance, but to calculate the volume we have used a Eureka can. Okay, so we can calculate the volume of an irregular object by using a measuring cylinder also. You can see a measuring cylinder here. It is calibrated, it is graduated. Graduated means marking is there. Okay, if you see here the marking, that is 50, 100, 200, 300. So like this marking is there. Okay, here you can see it is gradually marked. So first what we do, initial step, in this is a measuring cylinder and it is used to measure the volume of any substance, because mass we can easily find out by beam balance. So we have to calculate the volume, and if we know mass and volume, then easily we can calculate the density of that substance. Okay, so first what we have done, we have filled this jar with water, half of water. Then we have tied the stone with a string and we have immersed inside that water. So when we have placed that stone inside the jar, definitely the water will rise up. So let us consider the water was at 50. Okay, and initial water before dipping your stone. Now when you have put your stone inside that cylinder, the water level has rise to suppose 70. Okay, so here you can see it has rise to up to 300 here. Okay, so just I am giving one example here. If you consider initial water is at 50 and after dipping the stone it is coming to 70, then what is the volume? 70 minus 50, that is 20 milliliter, that is 20 ml is the volume of that stone, and we know its mass, so we can easily calculate. You see, density is equal to mass by volume. Mass is the mass of the substance, and V2 minus V1. V2 minus V1 means V2 is the final mark of the liquid after dipping the stone, and V1 is the initial level of water. So when we have dipped that stone, the water level has went up, so that was this volume, that is V2. And initially when stone was not dipped, that volume was V1. So V2 minus V1 is the volume of the stone, and m is the mass of the stone. So density is equal to mass by volume. So by this formula we can calculate the density of an irregular solid using a measuring cylinder. So students, in this video lesson only up to this much. In the next video lesson we will continue this chapter, that is physical quantities and measurement. But in your WhatsApp group I will be providing you some PDF files which you need to solve. And we have to complete the exercises of previous chapter, that was matter.